All right, guys. I don't know why I'm so happy to be honest about that, but I think I found my niche, reacting to therapists slash streamers, um, spiritual people also, but the best would be always one-on-one people interacting with each other, like somebody has a problems or problems and the one who is like helping them, guiding them. So I think, yeah. I think that's my new stuff because I enjoy it. I really wanna like also see what they talk about. The psychiatrist, and then also, well, I mean, it's almost always the same problems, family problems, friends problems. But then if we go into the nitty-gritty, then it's of course a little bit different. Like for example, my uncle raped me. My uncle stabbed me. You know what I mean? For another, it's like for me, for example, my parents got divorced. It's everything is a little bit different, but it's still a family problem. So we got that as human beings. We got that in common. Family problems, friend problems, having problems, overthinking. In All right, no, okay, because that's a I'm sorry, but that's a long video, guys. It's a long video. It's 3 hours. Like Jason the Weens was 1 hour and uh, 1.5 hours, and I turned that into almost 4 hours. So no, over 4 hours. So I can't do that. I don't want to do that. But it's like it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't. So let's get into it. What do we have here? What nobody tells you? Okay, no, we don't take that. Pokimane. I was like, huh? Did Pokimane had a therapy session maybe with him? And there we go. Why I thought about Pokimane? Probably when I was reacting to them, Jason and Pokimane making a beat. So I was like, okay, I saw Jason talking about, okay, yeah, I had a therapy session with Dr. K and I cried. And I was like, oh, you had a therapy session with a therapist or psychiatrist. Let me see that. And I'm like, maybe Pokimane has one too because I heard that she is doing therapy. So, and here we go. Okay. It doesn't really matter, but just a little bit of so you guys know. But at the start, I always like to, when I talk, have at least the people, on display and not just like this.
Technical problems aside, let us begin. I
Let's
don't know what
begin.
we're.
So first of all, that's what I
So
read, okay? Healthy Gamer is an online community and resource platform for gamers and their families. It does not provide medical services or professional counseling, and it is not a substitute for professional medical care. Our coaches are peer supporters, not professionally trained experts, and they cannot provide medical service. If you or a loved one are experiencing an emergency, please call your nation's emergency telephone number. So I don't know, is he a real psychiatrist now or not? Because he can't give professional counseling then. But all right, let's see.
first of all, what do I call you? What do you go by?
I guess a lot of people call me Pokey. If
Okay,
you wanted to be very personal and call me by my name, it's Iman.
Iman. Okay.
But Pokey's fine as well.
Uh,
Oh no, it's lagging. Is it?
what do you prefer?
I guess I've always kind of felt like
Oh hell no. Please, 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 no. No, I can't do that. I can't do that if it's I can't do that if it's like nah. I can't do that if it's that out of sync, bro. Okay, Senna and Pokimane go therapy. Damn. Okay. Talking with extra Emily. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. QT Cinderella is out going next. Okay. Sasha Grey. Wait a second. Sasha Grey. I heard her somewhere. Maybe talking about Rackful. Okay. Why like this? All right. Sadly, have to go that way. It's the best
Pokey
I
is
could find.
fine for whatever situation, but if someone's going to try to be very personal with me,
Bro
fine for
drinking beer?
whatever situation, but if someone's going to try to
Bro needs beer for the session, bro.
be very
What?
personal with me,
Oh my
like
lord.
me the person, then I guess Iman makes more sense.
Okay, so then what would you prefer I do? Do you want me to be personal?
Do you want to be personal?
I think I like talking with people instead of characters.
Wait a second.
Me the person, then I guess Iman makes more sense.
Okay, so then what would you prefer I do? Do you want me to be personal?
Do you want to be personal?
I think
The
I like
hell?
talking with people instead of
Characters.
characters
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
in
Yeah,
general.
that
So
makes sense. Hmm.
so I think I'm leaning towards Iman, but at the same time, I don't know if you want to be Iman today or you want to be Pokey today.
Mmm.
I think I should be Iman. I feel like it only makes sense.
Both of us are really quiet. I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I think it makes sense
Oh, please fix the audio, please.
to be Iman.
Okay. Um, so then let's talk to Iman. So can you tell me a little bit? Is there something in particular that you wanted to talk about today, or something that we can help you with?
Oh yeah, okay, that's his thing. Where he's like, "What do you want to talk about today?" Or something that we can help you with. Like, bro, I would set the tone, not the customer. You know, I don't care what the customer like because it wouldn't be a customer for me. It's like another person, another human being I'm talking with. So, okay, not really that I'm setting the tone like this was a little bit too crazy, but just let's talk about life in general first, and then we get. But all right. Okay. 3 hours, bro.
Can
We
I say
can.
we because Twitch chat is actually pretty good at this by now?
Oh, that's really cute. I think you have.
What?
We because Twitch chat is actually pretty good at this by now.
Oh, that's really cute. I think you have a lovely community.
Yes, they fixed the audio. Oh my god, yes. Wait, eager interview stream? What is that? 22 days to go. Eager interview stream.
And you do a really good job of moderating them. I think, from what I've seen at least. I don't think there's really anything in particular because I feel like all my issues are very convoluted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And kind
let's.
of mixed in together.
That's what we're here for. So I think that's actually what I think what we do. What I try to do is just untangle things for people, because I think most people are pretty good at problem solving. They're intelligent, they're capable, and it's really ignorance and not understanding that tends to be the problem for most people. So when you say your issues, like that's like a heavy word. Like what do you mean by issues?
That's a heavy word? Okay.
For starters, do you know how I can prevent myself from crying during this?
Absolutely. Well,
I can prevent myself. For starters, do you know how I can prevent myself from crying during this?
absolutely. Well, maybe actually, hold on.
Okay.
Do you? Let me start with this. What's wrong with crying?
I've just been crying a lot.
Mm. Oh my God, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that because nowadays it's difficult. It's not like before, because when somebody cried, it's not like I'm getting sad, But when somebody like really cries and I feel the emotions really that like that can be hard on me too, like just seeing her like that, bro, she is almost already crying and she's saying, I've been crying a lot lately. You know what I mean? Like, this already gives me a really sad vibes, and it's hard for me, man. Like, I got a little bit emotional just by seeing that and hearing that. All right, okay, okay, okay. Let me log in. Let me log in. First of all, you can't prevent it. You can't prevent it. If you like noticing that the heart is aching, and the stabbing on the throat, shout out to Jason's therapy session. That means you about to cry. That means you about to cry. But if you observe the sadness in you, what you only observing it, it can vanish and it will vanish. But if you just let it happen, and you identify yourself with the sadness, guess what? You will probably cry, you know? Oh man, that will be the tough one because Pokimane, man. Oh my God. Yo, what? I really, I mean, I still think we have to go through all of this. Well, we don't have to, but I think it's really good to see those kind of interactions. I really like those kind of interactions, and it's really important to see what is going on. All right, let's go. Come on, I'm ready.
Okay, so but what's wrong with that? Where did you get the idea that you're not allowed to cry or that crying is bad?
I guess just in moments where it feels like it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Like now.
Okay. So let's just pause for a second. What are you feeling?
Um
It's a lot for her, man. It's a lot. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's go.
there was actually a really funny picture or meme on the subreddit, I think like Make Me Motivated. If anyone either was watching my stream or has seen it, or it's like therapist asks you to open up, and then it's like this glass panel, and inside there's a bunch of dishes that are like so close to falling out, and you're like, I can't, and they're like, why? And then it's just a picture of that
Mm.
panel.
But but it sounds like that's not what you're experiencing. It sounds like it's the opposite, right? That the dishes, your panel is so high and the dishes are starting to spill over the top.
Yeah, I guess.
What are you feeling right now? Do you know?
um
A
I guess
lot.
some nervousness,
Okay.
and I don't know why, especially for the last like 2 weeks, I feel like just like very sensitive and like on the verge of crying very often, and I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the crying is a bad crying? Let's start there. So
Hey, man. I- All right. I don't know if I can do that any longer with it. Like I did already 1.5 hours, with him, specifically him, as the psychiatrist, number one therapist. Let me sip a little bit of water instead of beer, bro. That's crazy, but okay. To each their own. That's I really have to know, to each their own. But first of all, I mean, I have a sister, Sometimes she cries also a lot and she doesn't know why. I told already her everything, so it's like she only have to understand it now, but I guess she don't understand it. She is working on herself, but I mean, come on, like, I mean, you can work on yourself, but it will take like step by step instead of like go through it really deeply and understanding basically everything from on you or you can also work step by step, working on yourself, but it takes a longer time. But if you understand the root problems, then you solve more and more problems, and then it's not like step by step. It's like, I mean, it's still like step by step, but you go deeper step by step. Each step you go deeper, But with therapy, it's like, in my opinion, to be honest, it's superficial. You go step by step, but it's still superficial, really superficial. But all right, my
I mean,
bad.
I'm not the kind of person that is of the opinion that like crying is a bad thing. I often feel like it's really good and like cathartic or like therapeutic, and it kind of like allows you to let your emotions out, but it almost feels like I can never get to that point where they're all out. Either that or like they're just like continuously regenerating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh man, that sounds rough.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you're not opposed to feeling feelings. It's just it seems like there's a never-ending well of like negative feelings. And even if you let
As of
yourself
late, yeah.
cry, like you can cry for a while, but then like at some point the cry.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I have to tell you a story. I basically told the story with Jason the Weeds therapy session, but this is another video. So, um, basically, I never really cried, I only cried when I was really, really young, when I went to a new school and the teacher was like mean and stuff like that. I was a crybaby, basically. So when I was very young, I cried a lot. Then I stopped crying after like the divorce of my parents. And then I didn't cry a lot of times, only when an important person is dying or died, like my grandparents, four grandparents, you have four grandparents in total, two grandparents, so four person in general, human beings, uh, all dead. Then my pet or my dog, aka like family member, dead. And after that, believe me, my emotions were so messed up, and I didn't really even cry. Then I went to the spiritual stuff. Then I started crying. I started breaking down and cried like I never cried before. And one time I cried like my soul out. Like I cried like I never cried ever in my life before. Like that was like I cried so much like like snot came out of my nose like crazy, like everywhere. Water came out like tears, nose like with snot, and even mouth, bro. Like I was com I was I was broken down completely. Maybe that was my first ego death. Maybe I don't know for sure, but all I know is I was completely broken down, bro. Like I cried like I never cried. I'm telling you, never cried like that. I cried. Normally, I cry in silence. When I cry. But that time I cried like the world was over, bro. And after that, I felt way, way better. So much better. So, what I feel like is what Pokimane is doing. She is like crying on her own, crying in silence. She is overwhelmed with all of that, like streaming, chat, rumors about her, gossips and stuff like that, TMZ, whatever it is, other streamers talking about her. Like, I just saw, bro, like, Pokimane. Wait, what it was it? Pokimane therapy. Where is it? Pokimane effed up real bad. Pokimane is this idiot. You know what I mean? Like, and it, like she is really, really famous. Even when was that? Even 5 years ago, she was already really, really famous. Everybody knows her in the streaming community, especially gaming. You know, I knew her from League of Legends, man. So Pokimane started also at a very young age, so 18, 19 years old. Basically, bro, I know them, you know, a little bit. I know a little bit of history because I like watching streamers, or I'm into streamers, YouTubers, content creations, but also I'm into spiritualism, not really psychiatrist, because that's just like asking questions, analyzing it, summarizing it, done. They don't ever go really deep, but let's see how deep he goes today.
Crying's supposed to like make you feel better and you're supposed to stop, right? Like it's not just like
Yeah.
every
Yeah, or at least
Like that the thing that and I got it from like a friend. The ones that are hurt the most smile the most. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, you think that's why I'm smiling that often? And she's like, "Mm, you know, maybe." And guess what streamers are doing? They smile all the time, you know, for the camera, for the content, even if they in the inside they are breaking down. You know what I mean? Like they do it for their job and stuff like that, but they pretend to be something that they are not right now. You know what I mean? Like if you are sad, you are sad. You can't be just happy all the time on stream. I mean, you can, because you can um not prevent it, like uh just I forgot the word. It doesn't matter. Let's
that's
go.
what I've experienced in the
yeah, it's like
past.
what the
And
fuck?
recently
Like
What
it's just not
she
while, but then
experienced.
feeling feelings, it's just it seems like there's a never-ending well of like negative feelings. And even if you let
as of
yourself
late, yeah.
cry, like you can cry for a while, but then like at some point the crying's supposed to like make you feel better and you're supposed to stop, right? Like it's not just like
Yeah.
every
Yeah, or at least that's what I've experienced in the
yeah, it's
past.
like what the
And
fuck?
recently
Like
it's just not like that.
I was told at some point that this would get better.
Yeah.
And everyone says that once you let it out, then it's out, but you're like,
But then it's back like 2 hours later.
yeah. So what I'm hearing from you is that you don't have a bucket that's full of water, you have a faucet.
Yeah.
That sounds rough.
I guess maybe. I don't really know why, because
Bro stating the obvious.
I
Okay,
haven't
let's
really
go.
experienced this before. And that's why I'm like, I guess that's why that's like my first question right off the bat. And I thought like, oh, this will be fine. Maybe I will tear up at some point. So I don't know why. Like I literally just say hello and I feel like crying.
Yeah. So
Because you already know you will be vulnerable, you know, and it will be time to show emotions and stuff like that. And if it's like if you have like a really hard time and stuff like that, and it's too much going on, the best people can do, you know, if bro, streaming can be really stressful. You know, I'm to be honest, I'm not at that point yet. You know, these are the biggest streamers talking. You know, streaming can be really stressful. You not prevent, you pretend. Oh my god, you pretend to be a character. For example, Pokemon. You smile and laugh and stuff like that. You're so happy and all good and fun and all, but then you turn off stream and you're back to reality and you're like, God damn, bro. All right.
can I think for a second?
Crying.
Yeah. So
Hello and I feel like crying.
yeah. So Can I think for a second?
Oh my God, bro. She needs a hug, bro. I mean, it was for 5 years, but I feel like not much has changed, mentally. I hope she is mentally better, but I feel like, well, if that's the best therapy she got, bro, I don't know. I don't know if much has changed, if she maybe is into spiritualism, then maybe, but if not, I hope. Actually, I wanted to do that, like I wanted to do like a spiritualist show, for all streamers, influencers, celebrities, and stuff like that, because of course I need to influence the big influencers so they can influence y'all, you know? So it's really it is getting, my reach is even bigger, or not my then, but then our reach get is getting better, and I want everybody to have a mental health. I promise y'all, I don't want any money of that, of course, and anything is appreciated, because I can't, sadly, I can't live out of nothing. I need a little bit of money. But it will come, like it's not the biggest thing. And bro, you don't want to know how often he said, "Let me think for a second." I'm done, bro. I'm done with that guy, bro.
Okay, so my first thought,
Actually, can you think for like another second?
sure.
I'm just gonna get some tissues. I was not prepared.
the, the way she walked out of there, bro. Oh my God, I feel like she is such a, I don't know, like a cute person, man. And she reminds me a little bit of my sister, because she said that she sometimes cries a lot and she feels empty and stuff like that. And I feel like, I don't know if it's just women. I think men also, but they pretend a little bit more, I guess, you know. But then they hurt themselves just more through that, like harden everything up, turning cold and stuff like that. I feel like men do that pretty often, because I did it, and we all, as men, they so basically society told us to toughen up, don't be such a p word, don't be such a punani.
And I'm sorry, how do you pronounce
What?
your name again?
Iman.
Iman.
Iman, do you feel lonely?
Um,
Let me rephrase actually. Do you feel alone?
Let me I'm done with this dude, bro. That was perfect, bro. Do you feel lonely? Do you feel alone? You can be alone, but you can't feel alone. You can feel lonely, but you can't feel alone. Maybe it's like my language barrier with English, but I learned that lonely is an adjective, and you can only feel like, well, not adjectives, maybe feelings, like being lonely is like a feeling, like being sad, being lonely, being angry. That's what you can feel, but you can't feel alone, because alone is like you are alone. Right now in this room, I am alone, but you could think so that I am alone, but it's like I am not really alone. Like there is a table, you know, there are walls, there are like apples, you know, freshly picked apples. So many things around me. And then I don't really feel alone because I don't feel like I am alone. You know what I mean? Wait. I don't feel alone. Then I don't feel alone. No, I don't feel lonely. I'm sorry. So that I'm not really alone. Not that I feel alone. Then I'm not really alone because, you know, there is so many things around me. So it's like I will probably like never get lonely ever again. I felt loneliness for a quite a long time because I was alone. You know, I was alone. I didn't feel alone. I was alone. You know, in my room gaming, I was alone. And then I felt loneliness. But then I learned, you know, that's a feeling that I don't have to feel. So, bro, and please, Pokey, please tell him, please. Like, what do you
I don't
mean?
know. I guess it's not really something that I think about because I am like physically not alone because I have like my
Mhm.
roommates and stuff. And I do have like good friends that I can vent to.
That's why I'm like, why did you rephrase it? Do you feel lonely, bro? Oh my God, 3 hours.
Wait,
I have to correct him and stuff like that. Like this is basically work, bro. Like I am basically working for him for free, but I mean it's you know for content and stuff like that. And to tell y'all correctly, you know, like I am picking up on anything, on everything, you know, because everything is very important. Like why do you have to rephrase that if it was already correct and then you rephrase it wrongly? Like why do you feel alone? All right, I know I don't even know if it's wrong, but hey,
when need be. So in that aspect, I've good
wait.
friends that I can vent to when need be. So in that aspect, I feel like it's not like I don't really feel alone in that way. Maybe in more complicated ways that I do. For example, like in terms of the things that I have issues with, I maybe sometimes feel like I deal with those alone or that there aren't like people in similar situations.
Yeah,
That
it can
makes
be
sense.
really confusing when you feel a certain way that you're not supposed to feel.
Yeah. Or I think, especially one of the reasons I was nervous to talk to you today was because I feel like a lot of things um I like shouldn't be justified in feeling because I am also like very privileged and lucky to be in the position that I'm in. And that's also why, like, initially, many weeks or months ago, when we were talking about potentially doing this sort of thing, I just feel like people don't want to hear someone like me complain, like, understandably.
Hey,
So
what? Wait a minute. You are just a human being like everybody else, so it's okay to, you know, have emotions and like, all right. I mean, it's okay. You know what I mean? That's what I just want to say. It's okay,
I think that's
right?
like understandably. So I think that's part of it.
They don't want you to complain is crazy, bro, because they are not in your shoes, you know? Like, I just know I'm not a big streamer. You know what I mean? I just understand chat, news, other streamers, rumors, a lot of things happening, a lot of pressure to be like perfect. And I already saw that she likes to do things perfect. You know what I mean? Like the song they made with Jason. Shout out to Jason and Pokimane. Um, I felt like she wanted it to be perfect. So nothing will be ever perfect. So that's one thing. A human being can never be perfect. That's one thing too. The second thing, and the third thing. Let me see a third thing. A third thing. Don't like. It doesn't matter if they say, "Oh, you complain about those things, and you are so privileged." I mean, we are privileged. The Western society are pretty privileged, to be born in the Western, basically hemisphere. You know, um, we still complain. I mean, yes, it's true. We shouldn't complain. We just should just handle it and solve it, so we don't have anything to complain about anymore. But sometimes it is getting overwhelming, and if you don't know how to deal with that, then it will get, well, overwhelming for you, and your emotions are messed up. You don't know how to feel. You cry, you feel empty, whatever it is. All right.
I'm going to think about how. So yeah, so I'm going to just say what I said again, which is it can be confusing to feel things that you're not supposed to feel.
Like what? What are you not supposed to feel, bro? Like what? Tell me. I would love to know.
Right. So what I'm getting from you is, so the first thing I'm going to say is I'm here and I'm with you.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm not laughing at them, but this thing with "I was here," like the comments, "I was here," or on a chat, on a stream, "I was here." I did a reaction to Baby Chief Do It Fried Chicken official music video. Go ahead, react to that if you like rap. Um, and the first comment, sadly the last, was, as of now, the most actual one, said, "I was here." And I was like, oh no, not let, don't let me get into that, bro. And I was like, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Uh, I don't know why they say it, but I guess it's important for them to be somewhere in the comment section below, because they would have not any other existence or presence elsewhere, which is pretty sad, to be honest. Like, really sad. But hey, let's go back to Pokimane and Dr. K, bro.
And
You can call me JC. JC, yeah, JC. No, CJ. CJ, actually, CJ. Because my name, first name is Chonthavy, second name is Johnny, last name is Luang Lat. So it's like CJL. CJL, basically. You can call me whatever. Call me whatever. Big bro, Asian bro. I'm 29, so for most of y'all, I'm probably big bro, to be honest.
at least for a little while, you're not going to be alone. And I'm okay with who you are. And I don't really care that you have privilege. Like, I mean, part of the advantage of being a boomer, I mean, I know who you are. I know who you are, but I also don't, I, I come from worlds. I feel like I'm an
What?
alien. I don't, I mean, part of the advantage of being a boomer, I mean, I know who you are. I know who you are, but I also don't, I, I come from worlds. I feel like I'm an alien on Twitch because there are all of these, they're, yeah, there are all these things that I don't understand about you guys and Twitch, and like, I identify with pieces of it, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't understand. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is, I identify with pieces of it, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't
Okay.
understand. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is, because I think this is the problem, right? Is that you shouldn't be alone, but you are. I
Shouldn't be alone, but you are, bro. He just told you she is not alone. She has roommates. But, bro, like, I feel like he is not even listening for real. You know what I mean? There is no way, bro. Like, she said she is not alone. She has roommates, but she feels like basically with some issues she can't really talk this with anyone because like she is like not many experience the same thing she experienced because she is so big, you know what I mean? So not a lot of people experience this kind of maybe pressure and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know which that her roommates were 5 years ago, but I'm telling you right now, Pokimane was the biggest, and she's still one of the biggest streamers in the world, bro. So yes, a lot of people don't can be in your shoes, but I like like for me, I can only imagine, of course. You know what I mean? But it's a lot, and he is not really listening. So he's a really bad listener, I feel like, and just stop doing that. You know what I mean? But positive for me is I can react to it and correct yourself.
Because I think this is the problem, right? Is that you shouldn't be alone, but you are. I like what I'm getting from you is like a sense of like
Pokimane is like, did you not hear what I just said? Or
shoulds. Like it's a case of the shoulds. Like you shouldn't feel this way because you're privileged. But the interesting thing is that like when Buddha, whatever, um, said that all human beings are entitled to two things, and those things are suffering and death. And that's like really, really interesting. Um, because we have this idea that we say money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure as hell helps. But at the same time, like I mean, I've worked with a lot of people who are
he's one of those guys, bro. Like money makes us happy, but it sure helps. Like, bro, like it's comfortable, you know. It's beautiful, basically, to have a lot of money, you know, because you can do like it's freedom on the outside, you know, basically. Like if you have financial freedom, you have freedom on the outside. You can basically like do or travel wherever you want, do whatever you want and stuff like that, you know, and you don't have like normal work, you know, like, oh no, it's Monday, I have to work. It's like, oh, I reached financial freedom. And I feel like everybody should go for that financial freedom. Um, well, ultimately, we shouldn't be in this kind of world, but we are. So everybody should reach for financial freedom until you can just travel around, or at least don't have to work. You know, that's the main point. You can still like work your body, you know what I mean? Because your body needs movement and stuff like that, you know? So it won't be okay, let me just move a little bit because so it won't get rusty and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But not work like a real job, you know what I mean? You should hopefully be financial free. Someday I hope everybody will, but with less problems because streaming is like, yeah, like a lot of things can come with that, you know? All right, all right, all right.
very successful and very privileged. And the one thing that I've seen is that
Damn.
like I don't think that being privileged or successful is makes you invulnerable to suffering. And somewhere being privileged or successful is makes you invulnerable to suffering. And somewhere along the way, we started judging people who have things that we don't have, and we started gatekeeping suffering for them. And I think that's actually really, really toxic, right? It says that like just because you have something that I don't have, you're not allowed to suffer. And this is a tango that we all started playing, especially the people who are the haves and the people who are have nots. It's one that we both do. But in my experience, like I hate to break it to you, Iman, right? I hate to break it to you, Iman, but no amount of privilege, power, fame, or money is going to be an antidote to your suffering. And in fact, that's exactly what Buddha learned. So he was wealthy, powerful. There's jokes earlier about people in chat said queen when they referred to you. And I think it's actually really bizarre because that's literally what Buddha was. Like Buddha was a king. And he
Yeah,
woke
and
up
then
one day. Yeah. Go ahead.
he was like tired of his privilege or wanted to see what it was like to live otherwise. And I think he became really poor.
Yeah, so I don't know that he wanted to see what it was like. I think he actually woke up one day and felt exactly the way that you do, which is that
Are we talking about Buddha now? Because Buddha, like, if that's the story about Buddha, it's like there was suffering around him, and he saw a little bit of that, but well, uh, well, the story that I heard of, I don't know, the king's right hand or whatever, who the butler or whatever, always everybody is like, don't let the prince or king ever see, how bad the outside world is, let him just be in the castle or whatever it is. But then he knew about it, then he saw people are poor and stuff, and he wanted to experience that. So I don't know what y'all talking about, but wait, let me see.
people in chat said queen when they referred to you.
Hmm.
And I think it's actually really bizarre because that's literally what Buddha was. Like Buddha was a king. And he
Yeah,
woke
and
up
then
one day. Yeah. Go ahead.
he was like tired of his privilege or wanted to see what it was like to live otherwise. And I think he became really poor.
Yeah, so I don't know that he wanted to see what it was like. I think he actually woke up one day and felt exactly the way that you do.
Nah, bro. Bro is like, woke up one day, felt exactly the way that you do, because you know how she is feeling exactly. You're a joke, bro. I'm sorry, bro, but you are a joke. You are a joke, bro. Like, first of all, you don't know exactly how Pokimane feels. You don't know how exactly the king felt hundreds of years ago. And just woke up one day, felt the way that Pokimane feels, exactly also. And then just like, uh, you know, go and leave? No. Like this was step by step. If it's the Buddha story, the Buddha story is like he saw and he was like, okay, I will go outside, something like that, and don't tell anybody or whatever, or he's like just trying to go his way, and then he learned everything, and then, he starved almost to death, reached enlightenment and stuff like that. Okay, but
Which is
Pokimane is like,
that
okay.
he cried and then the next day he exactly the way that you do. Which is that he cried and then the next day he cried and the next day he cried and the next day he cried and he didn't know why it wouldn't stop. And then he's like, things are supposed to make this better. And then he looked around at him and he said, okay, like maybe having more followers on Twitter will make me feel better. Maybe being able to eat tastier food will make me feel better. Maybe having a more loving marriage. But he had all those things. So he was kind of fucked in a way that very few people are, is he had everything. I don't know if you have everything or not. It sounds like you have a lot, but there may be some things in your mind that you tell yourself, like, I don't know, in terms of, if you have kids or relationships or things like that and what you think about that. But a lot of
Okay.
times, people who are uh, privileged or successful in some way, like they look at that, like that
Wait a
dimension.
minute. My little brother gave me I don't know how you call it, kaki in German. Let me show y'all. Wait, it's a little bit too vibrant maybe. Is it?
Of their life where they're lacking, and they say this is what's going to bring me happiness. But Buddha's
I
uniquely,
think I do that a lot.
yeah, not going to work. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I'm very much a problem solver brain, and
Wait,
that
wait, wait, wait.
has
My
to.
bad, my bad.
But a lot of time, but there may be some things in your mind that you tell yourself, like, I don't know, in terms of, if you have kids or relationships or things like that, and what you think about that. But a lot of times, people who are uh, privileged or successful in some way, like, they look at that, like, that dimension of their life where they're lacking, and they say, this is what's going to bring me happiness. But Buddha's
I
uniquely,
think I do that a lot.
yeah, not going to work. Hate to break. They
What?
look at that, like, that dimension of their life where they're lacking, and they say, this is what's going to bring me happiness. But Buddha's
I
uniquely,
think I do that a lot.
yeah, not going to work. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I'm very much a problem solver brain, and I also agree it's probably not going to work.
Yeah,
I actually think it gets really bad because I become very like kind of compulsive about those issues,
yeah,
but it doesn't really make a difference at the end of the day because I'll just become compulsive about something else once one thing is dealt with.
brilliant. So I can keep talking about Buddha, but I can't let that slide. So, where does that compulsivity come from? Why are you compulsive? Help. So,
Oh, he was talking about Buddha. Let's get it straight. I don't like to just don't know. Like, I mean, it's okay to just don't know, but it's like, let's get the facts straight. You know what I mean? It's okay to don't know for real. But if we have the chance to know, why not? Why did Buddha leave the kingdom? The palace. Okay. It was a palace. Let me read it out really quickly for y'all. Gautama Buddha, originally known as Siddhartha Gautama, left his place in search of enlightenment and to understand the nature of suffering. He was born into a wealthy royal family and lived a life of luxury, shielded from the realities of aging, illness, and death. The pivotal moment came when he encountered the four sides: an old man, a sick person, a corpse, and an ascetic, experiences that revealed the perversive nature of suffering in life. This profound realization, described as a form of strong religious agitation, shocked him and sparked a deep existential quest for liberation from suffering. He was also motivated by a growing awareness that even the most pleasurable lives are filled with suffering, and he sought a path beyond the transient nature of worldly pleasures. According to traditional accounts, he left the palace in the middle of the night, abandoning his wife Yasodhara and newborn son Rahula to live as a wandering ascetic. His decision was driven by a yearning for a wide open and complete and pure life, in contrast to the constricting, crowded, and dusty palace. While later traditions emphasize an altruistic motive to benefit all beings, the earliest texts suggest his primary goal was personal liberation from old age, sickness, and death. Great renunciation is thus seen as a symbolic act of renouncing worldly attachment to pursue spiritual truths. Bro, there were a lot of big words, to be honest. Like, for me, those are big words. But where did it say that he cried and cried and cried? Where did it say that he felt exactly like Pokimane did? Bro is a joke. I'm sorry, but he is. Um, and yeah, it came from him seeing an old man, a sick man, and he then was questioning, like, all right, about everything, like suffering. Everybody is suffering. Is there a way out of that? I need to know. I need to seek for it. Then he goes to an adventure. Where did it say he cried and cried day and one day, next day, next day? Bro is basically lying. Indians, not L Indian scammer, bro. L Indian scammer in the chat, please.
where does that compulsivity come from? Why are you compulsive? Help us understand that.
I think I just have a problem solver brain and it's served me.
Compulsive Moroccans. Moroccans are a little bit compulsive, I would say, but it's not. I don't want to say like it's just one nation's. Everybody is compulsive in one way or another most of the times. Not
For so many
that much for me. I hope not.
years,
Come from? Why are you compulsive? Help us understand that.
I think I just have a problem solver brain, and it's served me for so many years. I can't really turn it off.
What does that mean, problem solver brain? Help us understand that.
Um, I,
Mm-hmm.
it, I may think that it spawns from the wrong thing, but I always thought that I came from like having a strong love for mathematics and going into engineering. And I mean, my life was school, and so it was always about like problem solving, min maxing, trying to be as productive as possible, trying to do my best in all aspects, etc., etc. And I feel like when it comes to content creation, what makes a content creator really successful is a lot of being able to problem solve and being able to min max and learning what works and doesn't and changing and evolving, etc. And so because it has served me for so many years, it's a part of me that is kind of hard to turn off. But I've noticed, especially as of late, that it's more so like not trying to like fix good problems per se or helpful problems. It's just like
Okay.
being
My bad.
obsessive
My bad.
about the next thing that I can fix or
And
make better.
you you've thought about this a lot.
Hmm?
You've thought about this a lot. Very
About what?
insightful. So let's try to take the next step. Okay, so when you don't problem solve, how do you feel?
I don't think I've ever done that. What does that mean?
How do you feel again, bro? No, my God, bro. Bro, with his how do you feel about everything, bro? And it didn't even happen if you don't problem solve. Then how do you feel? Bro can't just yeah, like it will it's if a person is getting repetitive like that, then it's getting annoying. For example, it's even getting annoying for myself when I say, you know what I mean? When I say it often. But I really want to, of course, know if you know what I mean, if you understand me basically. But I say it too often that it even it annoys me like myself. You know what I mean? You saw that? Like it almost comes automatically. And I can always say that. It's
Not
crazy.
problem
It's like a
solve.
filler.
Exactly. All right, so you've got to learn exactly what Buddha learned. Okay. And so the good news is that you can get better. I think it's just gonna have you're gonna have to do something that you've never done before, which is to not try. Right?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. So we'll try to help you. We'll try to help you not try. Um,
Wait a minute. You are saying she should stop solving problems? Bro, like don't solve problems, you know what I mean? Like it's not worth solving your own problems, you know what I mean? Like just don't do it and just see how you feel, because I really want to know how you feel if you don't solve problems. Like what the hell? Like it's good to solve problems, but it's like, well, not just solve problems. You should go to the root of problem. Then these problems most of the times don't occur. Problems, what I mean with problems in that sense is mental problems. If you have mental problems, solve them. Go to the root of them, and the problems probably won't come back. Um, if it's an outside problem, you still have to solve it. The best, of course, would be immediately. What is that? Okay. Um, hey, you decide, but what? I don't know. I don't know what he's
So
talking
let's
about.
let's talk about this for a second. So you said, so let me, okay. I'm going to ask you about the tangled stuff. Okay? So like when you say things are tangled, can you help me understand like what, like when you wake up and you're crying on a particular day, like what kind of thoughts are you having or what kind of feelings are you having?
Um,
Damn. Okay.
hmm. It's just, you know, when something is so tangled, it's like, where do you start?
Sure. Yeah, just give me something, anything.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with um like if my personal life is going well, like with my friends or like my relationships, people in my life, then it's like, okay, well then I need to problem solve in terms of like work, and then I'll just like think about um it's so hard not to cry. You haven't fixed this for me. It's so hard not to cry. You haven't fixed this for me. um
So let's stop and think about that for a second. The first thing that you come on here and say is you say, problem solve for me, fix something for me, help me not cry. When you notice, when you set a problem for yourself and Iman says, I don't want to cry, and then you start crying, how do you feel about yourself? Like, what's that? Like, we saw frustration, right? You're like, you were supposed to fucking help me with this. Why
or
is it
like
still happening?
I'm
Bro, because he can't really help, bro. I'm looking at him and I see like question marks all around his face and stuff like that, bro. Bro don't know enough. He knows some, but he don't know enough. Wait a minute. Let me do like where's my color in my face? I mean it's getting darker, but with the crying, okay? Well, I already said it, but I can repeat it myself one more time. I feel like you should cry like one time, like for real, for real. Like you should get it all out. You can even s- not scream cry, but cry loudly. You know what I mean? Like cry everything out that where even like snot came out, maybe even water came out of your mouth. Like that type of crying, like a complete breakdown. Like this is what I experienced, and I'm telling you straight up, it felt I felt relieved. I never felt well, okay, I felt relieved multiple times, but I didn't feel that kind of relief because it was like really deep inside. So a little bit of, let's call it superficial crying doesn't help. You know what I mean? Again, you know what I mean. Oh my God. But I want to know if you understood understand that. So and it rolls off my tongue so easily. Okay, but it doesn't matter. So you should cry one time, but like really, really deeply. Like it takes it out like really completely. Go crazy with the crying. Like do really 100%, 200% of crying because when I cried, I really did like the least 10%, 20%, only one what I needed to cry out, and that's it. Everything else I held in, which is not good at all. All right. Um, yeah, and then it will probably go away because if you cry so much, so deeply, it can go away. and then it will go away for a long time, hopefully. But it depends, because if it's like a really stressful, job, Pokimane, I mean, sounds pretty stressful to me. Always have to be perfect. She likes perfectionism probably, and a lot of things. So you need to learn how to handle that. And Pokimane is right. You should help her with these kind of things, but I feel like he can't. So I'm here to help a little bit more. I feel like. So cry it all out, and then, you know, understand your emotions, you know, because if it's all mixed up, then it's like chaos. Get it, set it up clearly, make it really clear. Um, Understand yourself basically, but that's where you have to dig really deep to understand yourself, and a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people, well, they escape through streaming, problem solving, outside things. Well, it's your job, but like for me, the mental health is more important even than the body health, because if your mental health is like healthy, you will know what to eat, when to sleep, how much to sleep, to exercise. You know what I mean? Damn. The 20th time already that I'm saying it. Damn. All right. Um let's just get into
Mostly
it.
frustrated with myself, obviously, not you.
Absolutely. Why are you
Just
like
kind of making it
Oh,
up.
talk?
wait. It's already 1 hour. So this is part 1. Part 2 will